止まらない心が欲しがるは止まらない
And it's your man, PooNanners, your Texas caster and hype master.
And it's your beat boy with neat toys, QTpop.
Yes, it's not real if it doesn't rhyme. Welcome to VRhythm, where we're going to keep you up to date with what's happening in the world of VR rhythm games, mods, custom charts, new music, events, streamers, and of course, competitions.
And we've got some exciting mod news for Beat Saber tonight. Really cool mod coming soon. Don't try it at home kind of stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be real fun. So Beat Saber has been working hard on getting the game index ready. They've made some changes. They got the angle patch. It's helped some players that were completely used to the wands adjust more smoothly, but I know that you've had a few problems with it, right?
It's been, for me, a mixed bag. I went from getting used to the angle to them changing it and then having to get reused to it. And then I'm hearing people like the mod creator we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. He's having issues with his touch controllers because it somehow affected them.
Yeah. So I remember you had mentioned to me before when we were in the pre-show, just kind of talking about what was going on, that the angle patch that they released somehow messed up touch controller usage for Oculus players, which has a lot of people unhappy.
I don't understand how.
And the Wobble Saber guy, I guess, is primarily a touch user, so he's just like,
right? Oh, poor guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Let's take a look at this Wobble Saber clip that you cut for us, another one, and let's talk about what Wobble Saber is.
Essentially, Wobble Saber is a mod that you just want Beat Saber to be harder, essentially, and you stream, so you want people to make it harder. Like it's like riding a mechanical bull in Beat Saber while trying to still hit the notes.
That's that classic thing that whenever a game feels a little bit easy, you want to find ways to make it harder. Just like, they had Expert Plus, and then people were doing custom maps with like anime theme songs, whatever they could to make it insanely difficult. So I mean, and like me, like I remember, just as an example, me and my little sister, we played like Super Nintendo's original Mario Kart. The game got so easy that we just started playing it upside down because we just wanted. It's like you can't get another game. There's not another Beat Saber.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a bit more fun for the audience than it is for the streamer, though, right?
I mean, it depends on your
I love that
audiences. It depends on your audience's. I hate to say it this way, but their wallet and how willing they are to punish you with it. Since it's tied to a bit system, the crazier they get, the crazier it gets. So
yeah, it's like classic like pay to punish the streamer kind of things. But I mean, it's kind of funny too. And the floor is moving on you, so like in game, like it feels like you're moving, and you've got decent VR legs. I don't think you've thrown up on stream yet, but you're also said, well, no one's dropped serious cash to make it happen just yet.
Not quite. I mean, there's been some people that have been close. Don't get me wrong. You can't continue to do it. It's one of those things.
Oh, you got to cut them off after a point.
You have to, or you're gonna get sick, man. Even if you got the best.
Simulator sickness hurts, man. It's nothing compared to like regular motion sickness is kind of upsetting, but simulator sickness starts with a headache, then you feel ill, and if you take the headset off, you're still like bothered for hours. If you stay in it too long, it can last days. Like simulator sickness is no joke.
Yeah, people underestimate it, but whatever. Man.
Speaking of something else that isn't a joke, we have lots of VRcade competitions that are popping up all over the world, and Pesky has gone through great spreadsheet effort to get those on VRespawn.com events. So be sure to check that out for more information. Those of you who want to compete at a local arcade, when you want to flex on some of the kids who don't know about the larger community.
Yeah, I mean, oh, dude, we just had the Summer Saber Stars 64-player tournament. It's going to happen quarterly. I mean, Tai Chi won, obviously.
Yeah. No surprise there, man.
Like, no surprise.
Mad love for you, Tai Chi, man. I tried reaching out to him. I was like, hey, man, let's send you a VRespawn jersey. So he can like sport like, you know, the badass god of Beat Saber, who would never say that to you. He would never. The guy's super like down to earth. He has like almost no social media presence, and like he just, you know, he just keeps playing. That's like he gets in the zone. And we, you and I talked about that briefly. That's what it is at the competitive level. Most of the top competitive players I know are super quiet, down to earth, and they play the game so that they can get in that flow state and not think about the things that are worrying them in their lives. You know, none of the depression, none of the anxiety, just Beat Saber, just blocks and swords, you know?
Yeah.
And music.
Well, and people like Tai Chi are still having fun with the game, even though they're the best. Like, because
people beat their scores
Like,
sometimes.
you have to still have fun, and he just does. It's cool. I really appreciate people like him that still, they're humble and they're, Tai Chi.
Oh man, he's a good guy, man. Cube Community also had their summer tourney where Tai Chi wasn't there to take it away from anybody. That was Ashley Riot was calling the play-by-play in that one. I believe Atomic X took the win there.
Yeah. I mean, again, he's there. Probably a good chance he's going to win.
Yeah. We don't actually have any clips from that one because none of them were sent in this time around. So next time around, we'll be looking for you guys to send us clips from your favorite competitions that you want us to talk about. Just make sure you hit me or QT up on Twitter, and we'll be sure to put them up on the show and showcase this particular moment that you think is worth talking about to get more people into a competition that you love. And that's one of the things that we started here at VRespawn is that a lot of these competitions come and go, and people just don't know that they exist. They don't know that there's a larger community. Or they don't know a lot of these other games or mods even exist, or streamers even. And that's why we're doing this, is so that we can keep everybody informed so that more people can come to these events that you love. More people that will compete with Atomic X so we can take them down.
Be nice, right?
Moving on to Audica. Harmonix and the modding community are still having fun with Audica. The map competition just completed, and the winner, Protopip, is getting their map in-game with author credits. Also, the participants are getting exclusive Discord roles and leaderboard flair.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really cool that they're taking an interest to the community. It's nice to see developers actually taking an interest in what the players want, opposed to just ignoring the feedback, because I've seen that so many times in other development paths.
Well, you know, in some games where you have like a whole bunch of people that have like, you can end up with like a design by committee. But in the world, and so like, you know, in the mainstream PC gaming community, it's not a bad idea to kind of ignore most people. But in VR gaming, the community, especially with VRhythm games, it's just about love. Like, people aren't trying to get like an advantage over somebody. They're not trying to work on balance. Instead, they're just trying to add fun to your game. Yep. And so being willing to add fun to your game, if somebody's going to give you that input, especially since a lot of these teams are so small and independent creators, that they'll work together with you to just like, hey, whatever we can do to make the game more fun, that's what games are for, right?
Right, and even big companies like Harmonix, it's not like
but
their dev teams are gigantic.
At Harmonix, a lot of these smaller games, like I'm a big fan of is Dropmix. There's small teams at Harmonix that are working on it. It's like a labor of love, or same thing at Servios. Like Electronauts was made by like I think 2 or 3 people at Servios that were just, they really wanted to make this game. And it's the same thing with Audica, that it's made by just a handful of people at Harmonix that really wanted to make that game. Let's take a look at really the map that won the contest.
It looks like a good map. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd play it.
Yeah, you're shooting, you're punching, you've got single fire, then you also have auto fire. Then this is a game for people that, you know, I mean, that like VRhythm games, but when they play like Beat Saber, they're like, you know what, I want to be able to shoot. We see that a lot in VR, where the main mechanics aren't shooting, and then somebody says, all right, I kind of really want to shoot a gun though. And they give them that, but you still have like the little you can smash and you can slash in that game as well when stuff comes at you. It's a bit complex. I know that they've dialed it back a bit with some of the mods that they put out so that you can at least see the complicated stuff coming, so you don't have to completely memorize the map. So they've made a lot of changes, and they've got more changes coming. Any kind of quality of life improvements. If you were a fan of the game and still want to play, just join their Discord community and let them know what you want in the game in order to make it better.
Yeah. Can't say anything more. I mean, honestly, at this point, they've done a good job. They've done a really good job.
Yeah, so moving on to Synth Riders, a game that is near and dear to the heart of both me and QTpop, being children of the 80s as we are. Synth Riders is a gift that just keeps on giving, as our favorite retro wave-themed game.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of stuff coming in the pipeline. I mean, there's leaderboards, tournament support, badges for tournaments. So, like, if you win, your score is there, and it'll have a little badge that says, "Hey, I won."
I am the winner.
And they've even pushed like the map editor to GitHub, so like they're transparent. They're not trying to hide things. They're showing you what they're doing.
Exactly. Like this whole project led by Aben on Discord. He's a big fan of the retro wave style of music. He's been in that community for a long time. Knows a lot of the big players there, so they're giving their music over to him in order to do this. So that's why when he saw what VR could do and that he had opportunity to get that retro wave style and being able to play and feel and dance with the music that he loves, he's like, I'm jumping right on it. But the guy's got an eye for the visuals, he's got an ear for the music, and he's a long-time dyed-in-the-wool programmer as well as his partner in crime. So these guys are like pushing stuff to GitHub, building special leaderboards, doing competition leaderboards. We're talking about like Firebase integration to do like overlays for like the back screens here.
Two guys! It's
Absolutely.
2 guys!
My kind of people.
Dude, and he's had time to do other stuff. Like, my logo is his design. He does other people's websites. Like, I don't know how he has time, and he's a father.
Well, the thing you don't know about Aben is that there's 3 of them.
Right. There's the 2 clones or something running around. I think that's probably who's been answering my DMs, honestly.
Exactly. Well, we've got a little clip here of QT playing Synth Riders. If you want to take a look, this is what it's like. This game right here, or this particular map, features a song "Tonight" by, who was it? A Neon.
Sunset Neon.
Sunset Neon. What a great name for a synthwave band.
Right? Yeah, and it just fits the theme of the game. I mean, this is a song that made me
all those like 80s cartoon sound effects. I know Aben was like, "Oh, I'm doing this. Somebody's gonna know." They're like, "Is that G.I. Joe?"
Yeah, man. I honestly, people who have Beat Saber and you're looking for something else to play, pick this up. Like, for real. I hate to just say go buy it, but man, they've given so much free content. It's not even funny. And they started out with like 12 or 15 songs. There's 24. I don't remember. There's a lot of content for the money.
And for those of you that are not exposed to the whole retro wave, synth wave, chill wave movement, which our song at the top of the show is actually made by a 17-year-old synthwave artist on YouTube. I ran into his stuff randomly, and I was like, "Hey, I will pay you to make us a theme song," because I just kind of fell into it. And I was like, it reminds me of my childhood, it reminds me of the 80s. But strangely enough, most of the synthwave music that's out there is miles better than a lot of the music that we grew up with.
Miles better. And you go back and listen to some of the old, more like poppy stuff that was kind of synthy.
There's good stuff.
Good.
Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics is still pretty badass.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can't beat that one. Even though what's his name? Marilyn Manson tried real hard to get close.
Really hard.
Well, with great games, devs, modders, mappers, competitors, and lots of great people in these communities, VRhythm games are continuing to excite and delight people in-game and on Twitch. Where you live?
I mean, that's where I live, and honestly, it's crazy how much like it's blown up just in general in the last year. We've got a lot of new content creators.
I saw that you had over 6,000 hours of your channel watched just playing Beat Saber in the month of July, this month.
Yeah, it's crazy how that turned into a job, right? I mean, QTpop.com, self-promo.
Streamer showcase done. We did it. We actually got one in.
We did it. There it is. Okay, yeah, we needed to showcase a streamer. Here you go. There it is. There's our promo. I branded it. Worked out.
It's exciting. It's interesting because a lot of people love to play games like Guitar Hero or Rock Band for obvious reasons. And a lot of that is well-known licensed music. And you saw like Beat Saber kicked off the whole thing with music that they just commissioned and had made,
Yep.
And then people were playing songs that they knew, but they were getting more excited about anime theme song. And it seemed like it wasn't about whether or not the song itself was something you heard on the radio or whether or not you could play along to something. It was how it made you feel to play it.
Yeah.
Like we said, people using it to treat anxiety and depression, or people just finding something exciting that they didn't know that they needed. I think what it is a lot of people are rediscovering how much fun it is to be at a rave without actually having to pay and go there and sweat to death. Well, they're still sweating to death, but in their air conditioning in their house instead of around a bunch of other people.
Honest to God, I think it's the shame goggles. Truth be told, I really do think it's the side effect of the shame goggles. Because you put this thing on, and
you get to just be
how
free.
you act, and like, okay, some anime song comes on, and it's all boppy, and you can't help it. You're just doing this, and then it's suddenly fun, and now you like that song somehow because you interacted with it.
Exactly.
You didn't judge it. You saw some blocks, they timed with the music, and it made sense.
That is something I noticed about VRhythm games in general. I mean, we even saw that with like Dance Central as well. That I put the headset on somebody, and the strong desire to not want to be yourself, to not express yourself in front of people just goes away because they're in their own world. Like, you're there with other people, but something clicks in your brain is like, I can just be free right now. And
Absolutely.
I really love letting people get free.
That's how this turned into what it is. Like, I started the VR fitness bandwagon expecting to jump onto Twitch and get shamed because that was what I wanted. I wanted people to say, no, dude, you need to lose weight. No, man, I started doing it, and the shame goggles let me dance around like a putz, and here we are.
I think it's beautiful, man.
And people are like really supportive about it. Dude, this community is insane. VR is amazing.
Yes. That's why we want to showcase more people in the community, and we're going to do our best to bring you the latest news so you are never out of the loop. And that is it for us. Thanks to everyone in the community that helped us build this show. Let us know in the comments below what we need to cover next, and please suggest a streamer from the community that we should showcase so that other people can know about somebody that you love.
Yeah, and if you guys don't, I mean, we already self-promoted myself. I've got a whole bunch of THG people that I could just bring in and do one after another and just promote my own stuff. But we'd rather know who you guys want to see, because at the end of the day, this show's for you, not for us.
Exactly. Again, I am PooNanners, joined by mad VR streamer QTpop.
And don't forget to check out VRespawn.com, guys. It's like the only source for VR esports news. And hit the like, follow, subscribes everywhere. We're on all the social medias. Why wouldn't we be?
Yes. Anywhere you want to get to us, except for Pinterest, just yet. Anyway, this show was written by Ashley, Riot, and Pesky Cashew, who know all the things so that we don't have to. You've got the last word, Cutie.
Yeah, so blame them.